Hello, my crunchy on the outside, chewy on the inside friends. It is time for another Nintendo News Roundup. And with that lengthy intro out of the way, what do you say we get started? First up, we got a whole bunch of Pokemon news. The Pokemon Company released a financial report for the fiscal year, which ended in February. And apparently, they just had their second best year ever, only topped by 2017, which was when Pokemon Go released. And as you can see here, Pokemon Go was obviously a very, very, very large boon for the company. And, there was a natural decline the next year, but I think in this last fiscal year, you had Pokemon Go combined with the launch of Pokemon Sword and Shield. So those combined made for an incredible year. They had a net profit of 15.3 billion yen, which was a 14.8% increase over the previous year. Additionally, during a week in March, at the height of this virus situation, player spending in Pokemon Go hit $23 million. $23 million just on Pokemon Go during one single week in March. So obviously Pokemon Go is still going very, very, very strong and making them an obscene amount of money. In other Pokemon Go related news, normally Pokemon Go releases new generations of Pokemon every single year. They have not yet hit Generation 8. They're still a few years behind, but as like a little teasy, tasty teaser, they've decided to give players access to the Berserker and Obstagoon lines. So it's kind of nice. I don't play Pokemon Go. I still haven't. I got a smartphone too late. Now I feel like I kind of missed the train, but I don't know. Do you play Pokemon Go? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe. Even more Pokemon news, Pokemon Sword and Shield's Isle of Armor expansion has been set for a June 17th release date, which is coming up pretty darn soon. The new launch trailer didn't reveal any, mind-blowing new stuff, but it is very nice to finally have that release date. Personally, I am trying really hard to decide if I want to review it or do a video or something, because if I don't end up liking it, everyone's going to be like, well, then you didn't like the game? Why did you review the DLC if you just knew you weren't going to like it too? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure. I'm trying to decide. Should I review the Pokemon DLC? Let me know down in the comments. And the final piece of Pokemon related news, Pokemon just released a new little cartoon featuring Scraggy and Mimikyu. It is in the style of America's kind of golden age, like classic cartoons. It's a little bit Mickey Mouse, a little bit Looney Tunes. It's called a Poke-toon, and it's all right. It's kind of fun. I wouldn't say it like totally nails the style that they're going for, but it's certainly interesting to see. I have to wonder who made this decision. Who was just like, you know what I want to do? An old golden era cartoon, but it's Pokemon. Like, okay, sure. I'll take stuff like this. Why not? It is yet to be seen if there will be any more, but if there are going to be any more, I will watch them. I will dedicate myself to. I will give you that promise right there. There are more Poke-toons. I'll give them a watch. Yeah. So moving past Pokemon-related news, hogging all the news, Pokemon. So you remember the Yarn Yoshi amiibo? It was an amiibo, but it had a little tag on its bum, but it's a big plushie thing. So it's a plush toy and also an amiibo. Well, Nintendo recently filed a patent for this exact kind of toy, like a plush toy. They basically patented a stronger system that would protect the tag on the bottom. They tried to patent an idea like this in the same year that they released those Yoshi amiibos, but apparently it didn't go through. It was rejected, but they're coming back with it now. I don't know what this is for. Again, as with any patent, we don't know if this is something that's coming up or if this is something they just might want to do someday. I think plush amiibos are pretty cool. I mean, like, Nintendo already has, a pretty long line of, like, plushies and stuff. I think it would be cool if just as a standard practice, all of their plushies were also amiibo. I mean, their cereal was an amiibo. You know what I mean? So, like, why not? Anytime you buy a Nintendo plushie, it's got a little chip in its bum, and you can do stuff in your games. I mean, it's not like they're doing a lot with Amiibo nowadays anyway, but I don't know, it's kind of a cool idea. So here's an interesting one. Obviously, the time of the dominance of video game print magazines is pretty much over. It has been for a while now. There have been a few unofficial fan projects, which are really cool. You've got Switch Player magazine, and I actually wrote for Nintendo Force for a while. I did Arlo's Headcanon. Leave me a comment down below if you read Arlo's Headcanon. Yeah, if you want. But the creators of Switch Player Magazine have launched a Kickstarter to make a new one that is about Nintendo as a whole called Ninties Fresh. At the time of this recording, it has already absolutely smashed its goal, which is pretty cool. Personally, I'm not super into the whole print magazine idea, but I know a lot of people are, you know, they're super into it. It's the nostalgia, it's the tactile feeling of holding a book, and, you know, I mean, it's cool. It's definitely cool. So if you're into this idea, go give it a look. Ninties Fresh magazine on Kickstarter. It's cool. It's a magazine. It's a Nintendo magazine. So apparently for a while now in Japan, there has been a Splatoon manga. I didn't know this. I mean, I didn't like doubt it or anything, but I guess I hadn't heard of a specific manga series going on, and it is finally being localized. It's coming to the West. It's called Splatoon Squid Kids Comedy Show, and I think it's pretty cool. As a person who grew up in a time when it was really, really difficult to find good Nintendo merchandise and stuff, this is a very, very neat thing. I fully support all of Nintendo's efforts to expand their brands into books and toys and shows and all that stuff. I mean, seriously, you couldn't find stuff like this in the 90s. It was super duper annoying. So all you kids, this is just the norm now, and you got access to all the toys and shirts and stuff you could ever want. You appreciate what you have or something. I don't know where I'm going with this. Back in my day, we had to play Splatoon on our Game Boys under the blanket with a flashlight. Finally, in somewhat sad news, Kirk Scott has announced that he is leaving Nintendo. Damon Baker left the company a few years ago, and since then, Kirk Scott has taken over as the main indie guy in Nintendo of America. You might remember him from a number of indie showcases. He made the announcement via Twitter, and it's actually kind of cool because it sounds like he's going off to do the exact same thing, but with a focus on, quote, opening doors for minorities, being inclusive, and enabling success for everyone in the indie space. So that's cool. He's kind of just like focusing his job, doing it independently in order to make a bigger difference in the world of gaming. And of course, I wish him the best of luck. I had the great pleasure of meeting Kirk when I attended an event at Nintendo of America in 2018. Brag, brag, brag. Damon Baker was there too. That was before he left. It was really cool to be able to meet him too. Kit and Krista were there. They recorded a Nintendo Minute, but I didn't get to meet them. I was too scared. They were recording stuff. Anyway, I met Kirk and it was great, and he seems to be really, really passionate about all of this. So of course, like I said, I wish him the best of luck, and I cannot wait to see what he gets up to next. He's also really tall. I mean, like I'm like not even quite 4 feet tall, and he's a very tall man. It was a little, he didn't really see me. I was like, hey, Kirk, how's it going? And he was just like, what? And he couldn't see me. He walked away. So I actually missed him. It's not true. We met. We shook hands. I just had to find like a chair to stand on first. Anyway, that's it for the Nintendo News Roundup for this week. I hope that you have a crunchy on the outside, chewy on the inside kind of day with a sprinkle of salt on the top just for a little extra oomph. See ya later.